Hey, how's it going, Shotzi? How are you?
Great, how you doing?
Doing great, doing great. Obviously, today we're talking about you're coming off the big NXT Women's Championship Tag Team victory last week. It was huge. After only being in NXT for a year and a half, what was it like to win your first championship in NXT last Wednesday?
Oh, completely surreal. I'm in heaven right now. I'm just soaking it all in and just loving myself right now.
I mean, coming off of a moment like that, is there any one person that you're surprised to hear from upon becoming champion for the first time in WWE?
You know, hearing from Triple H, of course he would come and congratulate us, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still always like surreal and it always feels so good. So hearing, having him come up and say congratulations and you deserve it that was just like the moment for me.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard the rumblings of a women's tag team title in NXT for a while now? Because again, we had the Dusty Classic that you guys were a part of in the finals at Takeover just a month ago, and the tag titles came about within the last week or two. It seems. Is this something that you've known about for a while or heard the rumblings, or was it as much of a shock to you as it was to everyone else?
So I really had no idea until like I don't know, maybe like the week before that it was um, gonna be a thing.
Uh huh.
So yeah, it was a huge surprise. Um, yeah, no clue.
And the funny thing is that you actually came close to winning the WWE Women's Tag Team titles last year with Tegan Nox as your partner. You guys went for the titles on NXT against Sasha and Bailey at that point. That was only less than a year ago. How much more does it mean to have won these championships now? You're only the second ever champions after Dakota and Raquel. After everything you've experienced since then, because you've gone through so much in the last 9 months since that point, from the Robert Stone brand feud, the Candice feud, you were in War Games, forming the alliance with Ember. How much more does that moment mean now than it would have 9 months ago?
Yeah, I mean, just being in that match was huge for me because I huge fan of Bailey and Sasha. So like that was a big turning point, and it was also my first time main eventing at NXT. So it's kind of like it's coming full circle because that was like a huge moment for me
Mm-hmm.
on NXT TV, and then this moment just bringing it all the way around. Um, and to do it with Ember just like means so much to me because I just I've become so close with her throughout this whole journey from
Mm-hmm.
War Games to throughout the Dusty Cup, and it's surreal.
And it's only been a couple months you guys have been together because, like you said, you guys were in War Games together, which was only back in December, and it's March right now.
Hmm.
You guys were in the
Yeah.
finals of the Women's Dusty Classic in February. Was there any one moment, I think I asked her the same thing when I talked to her like a month ago, but was there any one moment where you guys felt, okay, the chemistry is clicking now, this is going to work out, like we're meant to be tag team partners? Was there any one moment for you like that, or was it kind of a gradual process?
Um, you know, uh, as soon as we were a team on War Games, we just clicked. Like we just happened to be doing a bunch of tag moves in that match. I think I did more tag moves with her than with anyone else
Mm-hmm.
in on my team, and it just meshed. And like she's loud and wild and energetic, and I think that chemistry together, us, was just um a little dangerous, but I loved it.
Is there any one team now that you guys are tag team champions that you want to face either in because there's so much women in NXT, the depth of that division right now is amazing. Is there any one team you guys have your sights set on facing at some point, whether it be from the main roster, NXT, or is it really just kind of a all comers type thing? Just anyone who steps up will face them.
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, I would love to get back at uh Candice and Indy.
Mm-hmm.
That feud has been going on forever, but I'm not ready to let it go. um Shayna and Naya, I would love to get in the ring with.
Yep.
Man, everyone.
Yeah. And Shannon, there was that unfinished business there too, because her last match in NXT before a few weeks ago was with you just over a year ago when you eliminated her from the Battle Royal. So there's that, history there as well. You mentioned the feud with Candice, and that's been going on forever now. But a part of that feud was was your tank, your signature tank, getting destroyed, and we've had a new one since then. I think you debuted at War Games. Is that correct?
Yes. Correct.
Okay. So what went into the creation of that tank and making it even bigger and better than the last one?
I didn't want to rebuild the same tank that I've been coming out with. And I think, if I'm going to bring on this rebirth, I wanted it to be meatier and just more badass and more destructible, heavier, stronger.
And also, too, we've been seeing you with this tank since you arrived in NXT a year and a half ago. And it's something unique to you in your entrance, and it really helps you stand out in that division, which is chock full with, again, so many talented women right now, which is great. But you've had it since you arrived in NXT, and you've only been here for about a year and a half. And you're a very rare case of someone who signed in late 2019. I think it was like September, October, around there. And then you were on TV literally with in 2 months, which is very rare because, some people get signed and we don't see them for a little while. So what was that process like for you, and how much of a whirlwind was that first couple of months in NXT?
Yeah, I mean, it was really, really quick. I got signed in November, actually, and then I debuted in December. And, yeah, it just all happened so fast. I thought I was gonna, have time to get new gear and, redevelop my TV persona. But no, it was just all right, go get in the ring.
Yeah. Was there one thing you had to change? Yeah, no, I mean, from that point, it was such a quick process. Was there anything that you were like, okay, I have to do this differently from what I was doing on the independent scene and Evolve, whatever? Or was it just the same Shotzi Blackheart from November to December?
I think because it was so fast that I did just get to be me, just do exactly what I was doing on the indies and bring it to NXT TV. I didn't even skip a beat.
And the funny thing, I say September, and you're right, it was November. I mean, obviously you would know, but I thought September for a second because my girlfriend and I had a chance to see you at an Evolve show in Brooklyn that September, and then you get signed 2 months later, which was crazy. Did you have an idea at that point? Yeah, we're like, okay, I might be WWE bound, or when Regal came out and offered you the contract. I wasn't at that show. I was at a one right before that, but did you know at that point you might be where that could be where you were headed, or was that as much of a shock to you as everyone else?
In September, no, I had no idea. I think I was told, and then I moved 2 weeks later.
Wow.
It was that fast. But even even though I was at the Performance Center already, I was still doing Evolve shows in December.
That's
so
crazy.
I feel and then a week later was having my debut match. So it was literally my last Evolve show was December 6th or something, and then the next week I was on NXT TV.
Yeah, that's such a wild process, and it's crazy too because your story's well documented that you tried out for Tough Enough 5-6 years ago at this point in 2015. You were medically disqualified, and now you're here now. What would you say were the biggest lessons that you learned in that time from 2015 up until you were signed in 2019, as well as the biggest lessons you've learned since being a part of NXT?
I love my time on the indies, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I'm actually thankful for how everything panned out because I got to travel the world. I trained everywhere. I trained in Europe and Canada and Mexico and all over the United States. I got so many different views, and I got to find myself by myself, and it was really a kind of spiritual way to find my wrestling self. And I wouldn't be who I am as a wrestler or even as a person today if I didn't go through everything I went through. So I think in a sense, me being released from Tough Enough for medical reasons was, hey, you need to go find yourself on your own.
Yeah. And in being in NXT, is there any one thing that you've learned from late 2019 up until right now?
TV wrestling is very different from independent wrestling, but being at NXT, I just realized that everything that I done on the indies was worth it, and like I get to be me, and I get, just keep doing me.
And, going back to your process, too, of, like, how you arrived in WWE, because, it's so surreal, the fact that you were signed in November. You were literally, not even just in NXT, but you were, like, on TV on the Christmas episode. I think is when it aired, when you faced, who was the match that you faced? Oh, it was, oh, God.
Bianca.
Oh, Bianca. Okay, Bianca. Yeah, you faced Bianca, and then you were on TV as a regular from that point forward. It wasn't like it was even a one-off. Like, we'll reintroduce you with vignettes. You were just on TV from that point forward, which is so cool. And then less than a month after that, you're in the friggin' Women's Royal Rumble. And in 2 years in a row, too. I mean, you're still in NXT, and you've been in the Women's Rumble twice. What was that experience like from last year to this year in both times, I guess?
Oh, man, I just feel like I haven't even gotten to really even process one moment, just because like every time I feel like, fuck, this is the most amazing moment ever, then like the next most amazing moment ever, then they're like, oh yeah, and then you're gonna host Halloween Havoc and do this, and I'm like, whoa, this is amazing. It's like I like wrote it all myself.
And it's crazy too, because in that time in NXT, you've had so many great matches. I think the EO match really stands out as being one of your best so far. That was such a great match on TV last summer. We've had so many great ones with you in it since then. Is there any one favorite match that you've had so far being in WWE, and one match that you still want to have that you haven't already, whether it be in NXT or a Raw or a SmackDown?
Oh, you called it right there. Like, me versus EO, definitely my favorite match that I've had since, I've gotten to NXT. Just the pressure was on, and when it finally like unfolded, I was like, wow, like I really just left it all in the ring in this match, and I was really proud of myself after that.
Yeah. No, that was an awesome match, and hopefully we can run it back again at some point with the championship on the line. But obviously we got the tag team titles to focus on for right now.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, too, because last week was such a crazy week. You won the tag team titles on Wednesday, but I also want to get your thoughts. You mentioned how your chicken passed away on Twitter, PekPek, and I just wanted to know what the story was there, because you posted a great tribute to him, and the picture that you posted, you took the picture right before you got the phone call from WWE saying you were signed. So what was going on there with PekPek and his passing last week?
Yeah, my mom actually was given PekPek when she was at a pumpkin patch. It was like one of those pumpkin patches that are just like in a parking lot, and they had like a little petting zoo. My mom went there to pick up some pumpkins, and the lady that was running it was like kind of stressed out about these chickens, and just asked my mom if she wanted some chickens. And my mom, being the Filipino woman that she is, was like, yes, I will take your chicken. But I think she was actually going to eat the chicken, to be honest. And she came home, and she's just holding this chicken. And I'm like, Mom, why do you have a chicken in your hand right now? And she's like, oh, I got it from the pumpkin patch. I'm like, okay. Well, and then she was like, we're going to eat it. And I was like, oh, no. This is my chicken, because I picked it up, and like PekPek was just like down, like cuddly and just a sweetheart. And then like literally that moment, like I have this picture of my mom holding the chicken outside. I took that picture and met the chicken, and then I got a call from WWE like right then in that driveway.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's really cool. And I'm sure you'd be obviously proud now that you're women's tag team champion. And final question for you, kind of going off of that. What can fans expect from you and Ember's reign as women's tag team champion in NXT, Shotzi?
Oh, we're just going to bring all the energy. Like us together, I think, is just this wild, energetic ball of danger. And we're just going to bring all of that.
Awesome. Well, fans are looking forward to it. They can check it every single Wednesday on USA Network. Yourself and Ember Moon, the all-new NXT Women's Tag Team Champion. Shotzi, thanks so much for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.